such an appropriate show. If I could learn ventriloquism and just do that the entire time, and 5 people are just like, this is amazing. And 2 people are like, I want it. And the rest of you would go home, which is helpful to the cause. Guys, I didn't know the room was this big. But before I start, guys, I owe a lot of what I do to other people in this fandom. I can't tell you the support that I've had. And for those of you who have seen it at other conventions, I'm part of a comedy troupe known as the Three-Headed Monster. They've been performing with me for a while, and it's how I've gotten the courage, the material, and basically the wherewithal to know how not to vomit in front of all of you right now. So I wanted to do something, guys. Before I do my set, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce one of my best friends in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, opening for us tonight is Lord Pandaz!
Holy wow. Hi! Wow, this is a large room. This is definitely more people that I have performed in front of before, but I am going to do my best, so I hope you all enjoy this festivities here this evening. I thought I might start off with a little musical number, if you might like. No! Go! This is a little song I wrote. Yeah, okay. Arrived at the Anthrocon, but I didn't plan ahead. Never booked a hotel room, so I've got no bed. I'm looking for crash space, I'll even take the floor. I'm hoping to pay cash, but they'll probably ask for backdoor. As I'm looking at the furries, there's not one familiar face. I only know Twitter icons, no one's gender or race. I finally find this guy from Offer Meat from last year. He's still 1 year underage, so he'll take payment in beer. I'm finally gonna fursuit, gonna have so much fun. It's an exact Chinese copy of my favorite one. As I step into the con space, everyone stares in woe. Oh, come on, he's been dead since at least 6 months ago. As I'm walking through the lobby, some people approach me. It's the hotel staff along with the convention security. We know about the booze that you bought for that young guy. You have broken the rules, so it is time to say bye. As I'm packing up all my stuff, I'm feeling so sad. Who'd have thought booze for minors could be so bad? I get into my car, then a smile comes to me. I can do this all again in August at IFC. So four quick things you need to know about that little song right there. Number one, yes, that was in fact Away in a Manger, a lovely ballad about the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Turned into a song about underage drinking and getting kicked out of a furry convention. You're welcome. Secondly, is the name of that song. Now, anyone here who is a convention staffer, you already know the name of the song. It's built into your DNA. For those of you who do not staff furrycons, let me share with you the title of the song. It is known quite simply as "Don't Be That Guy!" No. And for those of you who were confused about the last line of the song, IFC stands for Indie FurCon. It's a convention in August in Indianapolis that I happen to be chairman of. Hashtag shameless plug. And lastly, the thing I am most proud of about that song, it made Kage drop his glass of wine. I performed that little song at a convention called Fur Square up in Milwaukee. And Kage happens to walk in at the back of the room as we're performing. Oh, yes, hello fellow attendees, what's going on? Oh, they're performing. And I could see his face drop little by little with each line of the song. And finally, with the line, "He died 6 months ago," the glasses went. I swear, he's a great soccer player though, because his foot just went. And he walked out. Oh my goodness. So, quick round of applause in here. Who remembered everything they needed for the convention this year? Every single thing. You did. You did? Yeah, I have not always remembered everything that I should have. I don't know why. One time I showed up at a FurCon, remembered literally everything except my fursuit head. That was fun. I'm like, oh, hands, tails, paws. Oh, no. But I think the worst time was coming here to this convention. See, I finished packing, I was in my car, ready to get here, and as soon as I got behind, turned the keys, I'm like, wait, I have to get something. I'll have to pick it up on the way there. I wear a CPAP at night, which is basically like a Darth Vader mask that like, I wear it at night that, it keeps me alive. Basically it forces air down my throat. But the latch on it's gotten a little loose, so, now it's like... And I'm like, I'm sharing a room with people. I don't want the machine that keeps me alive to be the cause of my death. All right, good night, guys. See you in the morning. Oh, really? Maybe not you. So I'm like, okay, I need something to fasten down on this to keep it closed so it's not going to annoy my friend. So all right, I'll pick that up on the way to Con. I should have remembered before, but I'll pick it up. Then, as I'm on the way here, I pull over for gas somewhere, and I realize, oh, you know what else? I'm not expecting anything to happen this weekend, but, I like to be prepared. I checked in my luggage, do I have some prophylactics? I'm like, oh yes, look, I have 2, and expire in August of 2011. Why did I splurge on that 3-pack back in 2008? They're my hopes. Oh, 31-year-old me has so much high hope and no. So I'm like, okay, I need to pick those up. All right, get here to the convention. I'm right near the last exit. I'm like, okay, search for nearby pharmacy. Okay, directions go there. Pull in, and I'm about to walk into the store, and I realize what I'm about to do. I'm gonna walk up to this cashier and ask to buy condoms and rubber bands. No! No, don't be rubber band condom bandits, no. I'm like, okay, I have to buy some other stuff. I have to do it. I have to mask what's happening here. So I'm like, okay, I could use that, box those. Art supplies, that'll throw them off, that'll be great. I get up there, I put all my stuff on the counter, and the cashier's just like... I'm like, why, what's the matter? Oh, no. I have made this so much worse. Rubber bands, condoms, box of wine, box of sleeping pills, glue stick, box of glitter. And
cashier is just like, I want to ask you a question. And I'm like, oh, please don't ask. And she's like, so I'm just wondering, is there like some sort of party going on? Because this is like the third time I've rung this up today. I'm like, no, I don't know. It's just stuff I needed. I'm on my way to the Westin at the convention center for, a con this weekend. And she paused mid-scan. Even the machine paused mid-scan. I was like, weep, woo. Weep. And she looked at me, and she looked at the items, and I will never forget what she said. Oh yeah, the furries are back this weekend. So remember your stuff is what I'm saying. So for those of you who don't know me, which is probably most of you, I also like to attend other conventions other than furry. I like to go to a lot of Comic-Con style conventions. I have an outfit that I wear. It's a lion costume, but I also wear a hat and a scarf and sonic screwdriver. I am the fourth Doctor from Doctor Who, and I like to call my character Doctor Who, because furry puns. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go and get some pictures and hang out at a convention. And one of my friends was like, oh, you're going to that one? Get a picture with Christopher Judge. He likes furries, lol. And I'm like, okay, Christopher Judge. Okay, he played a character on Stargate. Not really related, but what do you mean he likes furries, lol? You quoted likes furries, and then you were writing in lowercase letters, then you capital LOL'd. You capital lol, this means something. He's like, here's a link, watch this video. DragonCon. Christopher Judge is up on a panel with a whole bunch of people, and for some reason somebody starts talking about, did you see those guys in the animal costumes? The furries? And Christopher Judge is like, oh yeah, like the cats and dogs, they're furry, yeah, sure. And then someone else was like, no, they're furries, Chris. And he's like, they're cats and dogs, they have fur. Yeah, of course they're furries, what's the deal? And you could tell he'd never heard of furries before. And one of his co-stars was like, and leans back, and he leans back, and they're having this wildly animated tale going on with someone who's doing this in front of them. And all of a sudden Christopher Judge goes, what? People do that? Where do I get one of these costumes? I need to meet Christopher Judge. This needs to be a thing. So I am first in line to get my photo with Christopher Judge at the convention. And the people behind me are like, tap me on the shoulder. Can we lean in? Because we want to see his face when he sees you. And I'm like, I want to see his look when he sees me. So I go, they tap me on the shoulder, okay, head on in. And I walk in. And he hasn't seen me yet. He's facing away. He's saying goodbye to someone that was with a photo shoot before. He turns to look at me, and he had like a little smirk, like, oh. And the minute he saw me, his eyes went wide, and he went full Cheshire Cat. I was like, so I saw it turn over, and I'm like, okay, let's get this picture taken. And he does the hold up to the cameraman. There is a line of people waiting for pictures, and he's like, hold up. And he goes, put my arm around me. So I need to ask you a question. Are you a mascot? Or are you a furry? I know who I am. I am proud. I am Dr. Mew, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a furry, Chris. And he will say the one thing that I think means the most to me out of any other celebrity I've ever met in my life. He said, and I quote, yeah. I I've had a lot of other luck as well. I've gotten to meet a few other people over the years. I also have another character that I like to wear. He's a panda that's like half regular and half reverse. He's based off of Star Trek. That's where I get my name, Pandez. Lieutenant Pandez, the Star Trek Panda. And he's been to a few Comic-Cons, and I was lucky to meet LeVar Burton a few times. Get a picture with him. And I got a picture with him like by himself and then with a small group. And then there was another convention, I'm like, okay, he's got a picture with Will Wheaton. I hadn't met Will Wheaton before. I met all the other Star Trek cast members, but not Will. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a picture with Will Wheaton in suit. But right before that, they had a duo shot. They had LeVar and Will, so I'm like, I'm gonna get a picture with Will and LeVar out of suit. Take the head off, real me. I don't have many of those. It's always the character. So I'm there, in line. Take off the head and everything, leave it all on the table. Still wearing the Star Trek uniform, still have the panda feet on. But the rest of me is just, hi, me. And I walk around, and I get right in between LeVar and Will. Standard picture, they're both like smiling, yay. Click. Go to walk away. Tap, tap, tap on my shoulder. Hi. LeVar's just like, where's the panda head? And I'm like, oh, it's on the table around the corner. I wanted a picture, as me, just because I thought that would be great. And Will Wheaton is staring at me and my feet. And I see the wheels clicking in his brain, and then he stares at me and he goes, "You're Lieutenant Pandez. I rickrolled you on Twitter." And I was like, you did! I remember that, because this was before you could see the video. It was just like, oh, it's a link, and he replied back to me. It's something I tweeted at him, and you rickrolled me, you bastard. Wheaton! So I'm like, okay, I get around the corner, and I'm like, well, Wheaton knew me. I get the head back on, all the parts back on. I'm in line, getting ready for my picture in suit with Will. And once again, tap, tap, tap on the shoulder. And there's LeVar Burton. He's leaving to go back to sign autographs. And he's like, much better, and walks away. I'm like, all right. Wait, did LeVar Burton just call me ugly? Wait, was that a diss or was that a compliment? I don't know. We still going? All right. I'm gonna take a sip because it is warm up here. I've never been on a stage with this many lights on me.
It's hot out here too. Take it off.
It's Powerade Zero. There's nothing in here. It's electrolytes and no sugar because I'm on keto right now.
Chuck!
I love/hate you. No, I can't eat bread. Leave it. Bread is my kryptonite. Leave me alone. I don't want to fall off the wagon. I'll be found dead, gorged at Panera tomorrow. What the hell was that? Oh, absinthe. Fantastic. Thank you. Bottle of water. That is not water. Keep it away.
It's water.
No, go. You go backstage till I call you out. By the way, is it time to call you out?
Yeah.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that has been my time up here on stage. Thank you so much. Now put your hands together for the guy you're here to see. I want to make enough noise that they can hear us in the viewers, and I don't care if they're closed. Let's rattle some on the stages. Give it up for
Guys, let's give it up one more time for Panda. I don't know how to set a timer. Sure, that'll work. I've got tequila, who can ask for anything more? Possibly a second lover.
Ooh.
Damn! You got good taste. And I'm an alcoholic. That's gonna be I'm gonna knock it over, so I'm gonna actually screw on the lid. You know what amazes me? Like, I was here when they set up this stage. I watched them, like, bring these beautiful lights up. I watched them wire all these microphones. This TV, which is basically like watching the shittiest episode of The Twilight Zone ever. That's what I look like up here? Why are you here?
Love you!
I love you. It is because of that. It's +3 to charisma. So, I love furries so much. But I watched them build this big, beautiful stage for people like Fox and Moore and Pepper and Evil, and I'm watching them build this. I'm like, these people have talent. I once thought I saw a bus. What the hell am I doing up here? Oh, right, that. Because I got a complaint recently, and it's a very valid complaint. They're like, you know, we really don't like how you try to go up there and make drinking sexy. I can see me on the TV. I am not making drinking sexy. That's like saying Grimace was making McDonald's sexy. Grimace, who lost his virginity when the Hamburglar stole it. Come on, he just put it between his buns. This is why you're here. I don't get it either. I had a set list and I don't fucking remember what it was. Somebody scratched it all out. Dragor, I'm looking at you. Sure. I would like to talk to you about a topic near and dear to my heart. Escalation. I would like to talk to you all today about escalation. Because escalation is that thing, when FurCon started, you can't tell me that it wasn't a bunch of people watching Bugs Bunny and one of them said, I'd do that, and one went, convention? And that's where it escalated into this wonderful thing that we have. And then we learn every year, conventions just learn and get better. They escalate. Sometimes due to the hard work of all the wonderful people on staff, all the wonderful attendees that send us your feedback, sometimes dick pics, guys, stop. It's funny at first, and then it's hysterical. Especially when we just forward them to Kage's address. And then tell his mom to check his email. She's just like, you have some ugly friends. But they mean well. Last year, we got to try something. Might have been last year, I don't know, I'm drunk. At some point in the history of Anthrocon, that's a much better way to start. Let's hedge my bet. I don't know when this happened. Here's a joke. We started doing a parade outside. Oh, isn't it cool? Isn't it cool? It is one of my favorite things in the fandom to see the parade go outside. Also one of my least favorite things in the fandom, because the only way to make it work is to make people with tunnel vision stand on a moving death belt that slowly goes down. Now, I'm not going to say this about all of you. I'm just making a generalization. This is not directed at any one of you. You're fucking idiots. Guys, the first year we tried this, it was very simple. There were 2 escalators. They were both going down. So we said, please form 2 lines. They immediately formed a line to the escalator on the left. All right, let's try this again. Can we get you guys to go over here and the whole line move to the right? All right, there are 2 escalators. Could you please split yourselves appropriately? One guy got on another guy's back and rode him down the escalator. One girl walked down the stairs. I'm a fat guy, that's sacrilege. She got exercise. My exercise for the year is Anthrocon. There's a lot of walking here. But your director of logistics has a cart now, which means I don't have to walk as much anymore. And then he found out about my center of gravity, because if you've met me, my center of gravity is right around, no. And he found out that that thing can accelerate quite quickly, and all of a sudden, I'm at the ground. Thanks. We worked on those escalators for the better part of an hour, and the final straw, the absolute last thing, was when we hear from the bottom of the escalators, stop! Stop! Keep going. Go to your death. You can't even form 2 lines. This is natural selection. You guys had backed up all the way to the escalators, and that would have been enough where we were kind of panicking. We were trying to figure out what to do. We're trying to get people to stop. We're watching fursuiters, big, bulky fursuiters, walking backwards on an escalator. And all I can think of is, Bob Saget still alive? Because we definitely have a chance of winning America's Funniest Home Videos. It culminated with one of the greatest looks I have ever seen Dr. Conway give me. As the escalator had gone all the way down, you know, they wrap around, and it came out the top. And on one of the stairs was nothing but pink fur. Somebody's tail had been caught in the escalator and left a mutilated furry on one of the stairs. And Sam looked at me, he's like, what have we done? And I said, thinned the herd. Escalation. Conventions escalate. That's what you guys do. You escalate problems. But that's how we know there's a problem. In normal, real life, if something small happens, if something small goes wrong, we figure out what's going on, and eventually we fix it. In the furry fandom, if something wrong goes on, sure, yeah, do that. Fuck English. You're gonna have a really tough time today because none of this makes any sense. Every time, did she just flip me off? Because that'd be awesome. Now this is part of the sign language. Yeah, no, every word is this. Oh, are you speaking in capital letters? You guys have the tendency to find our small problems and escalate them. In a way, an artist would be in awe. Because I run the Midwest Fur Fest Con Suite. I have the privilege of feeding all of you barely edible food. I say it's barely edible because by the time you guys get in there, you're so hungry, it doesn't matter what I'm serving. Seriously, go out to dinner, eat a sandwich. Pop-Tarts are not a meal. Code Red is not breakfast. I love that you all disagree with me on this. There was more to that joke, but it's not working, so I'm gonna move on. But what happened was, the small incident that did happen, small incident, the soda machine ran out of water. We have to, that's how that soda machine works. We actually have to keep water behind the machine and it eventually runs out. And when it runs out, you simply go out there, turn it off, refill the machine, we're done. So I went out in front of the machine and said, guys, water's out, just give me 1 minute, we'll get it refilled. And this kid, and I call him a kid because he was a kid, a young, impressionable furry, looked at me and did the same look that I gave to my parents when I didn't care anymore. It basically said, sir, fuck you. And he stared at me as he took his clear plastic cup and put it under the Code Red Mountain Dew dispenser. And I watched Liquid Jolly Rancher fill his glass to the top. And he took it away and looked at me. And in a small, squeaky voice, cheers, motherfucker. I didn't think running out of water would be that big of a problem, but now we have a strain of diabetes going around the fur god. I mean, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but I gotta respect the kid. I'm 6'8". Basically, if there was real macro micro, I'm it. And I will eat him. Except that I don't want diabetes. Escalation. Because sometimes we're the cause of it. We try so hard, but nothing ever goes according to plan. Like getting too much light makes the baby go blind to show up to a convention. The first year, I'm standing in the back of the room with the ex-con chairman and the current con chairman, Duncan and Takaza, two very close friends of mine. Have you seen Too Much Light Makes the Baby Go Blind? It is a comedy show. It's 30 skits in 60 minutes, and they put a bunch of numbers up on a fishing wire, and you call out numbers, they do it, and then they do the skit. And number seven was just called Attention Whore. So the entire time they're doing this play, they're doing skit after skit, and every time a skit ends, you're supposed to shout out a number 7. Everyone in the audience wants number 7 to happen, but it's just not coming up. And finally, this gentleman walks up, gets number 13, female counterpart, ran out onto stage, grabbed number 7, screamed, "Attention whore," and took off her shirt. Now, they didn't quite know what to expect. Too Much Light Makes the Baby Go Blind is an improv troupe. And I had the con chairman and the ex-con chairman flanking me, and both of them lost it. Because there are boobs at their convention. And the filters turned off. As one of them leaned on my shoulder and went, "Oh, shit. They don't even know what those are." And the other one standing over here said, "We will have them back every year." And I tell that story just because I love theater and I love something, and that's something it'll never leave me. Not because of the boobs, not because of the one guy that legitimately did this the whole time and there's a recording. It was because the entire thing was one of those skits that'll stay with you forever, because the guy on stage, remember him? Was still telling his story the entire time, totally uninterested. He just kept going, telling this heartfelt sob story about his childhood while his partner ran around the audience with her shirt off. And when she got back behind stage, as the laughter was dying down, in perfect time, he goes, "But that's why I'm alive today." Scene! And everyone in the room went quiet for a second, like, what did we just do? That's not right. It's a wonderful, I have class. I don't know what I have in these pockets anymore. You guys just put shit in here, it's really annoying. I had a duck earlier, who did that? Do I have enough flask? in many forms. I've been telling you guys some wonderful stories that you've done. We all love those stories because we're a part of them. We like to think that we're the ones because we're so creative. We're so wonderful. I love the furry fandom for that. You guys get in trouble in ways that no one else could imagine. The door side, the book that they keep, oh, they're gonna be rich one day. And all of you are in it. But you're not getting royalties, they already told me that. What? This is it's not real? Oh, that was my ticket out of here. What the fuck is wrong with me? Thank you. I'm at a furry convention, thanks. It's the top hat. It's one of those brain sucker things from Futurama. I have a friend named Trent. And Trent, one day, decided to climb a mountain. Trent is a friend of mine from work. Trent has an amazing resource because he has too much money and no sense, which is a great combination for stupidity and cocaine. And one day, Trent got a wild stick up his ass. Like when we do, it's like, you know what, today I'm going to shave parts of me that are going to itch forever. And he goes, I'm gonna climb a mountain. I'm gonna stick to shaving. But I want to hear your story when you get back, because you're going to fall off a fucking mountain. He says, no, I'm going to go buy the proper safety gear. He sent me a picture of water wings the next day. Trent went out and did purchase climbing gear. Well, what he thought was climbing gear was actually just a lasso from an out-of-work rodeo company. I can slur too. Well, he went and found a mountain. He drove 3 hours. He didn't know where he was going. He was just like, it gets rocky that way. We're in Illinois, this is flat. I will go to where things touch the sky. And he found a mountain. And he started climbing the mountain. Well, see, escalation. He didn't start climbing the mountain. First, he did a shit ton of acid. Now, I know what you're thinking. Shit ton, alkali, is that really a measurement?
Yeah.
Yes.
It is if you label the bottle like that. So he took his shit ton of acid, and he approached this mountain with great respect. He said, mountain, I am going to mount you in ways my wife has told me will cause a restraining order. Which is interesting, because he's not married. And he walked up to this mountain, and he started putting his hands on it in ways that we do not need to describe here.
Describe them.
And as he did, reached up, first handhold, second handhold, maybe a foothold, I doubt it. And he said, as he reached for a large outcropping of rock, he heard, stop. Hey. Hey, what's your name? Stone. I'm gonna climb on your face. He said that it would have the texture of somebody's facial features, and he got to the nose before he started to get concerned. Because Trent's an amazing individual, but I wouldn't call him upper body. He's no sign language interpreter. He did not have that kind of an upper body strength. And by the way, I'm talking about her. She beat the shit out of Kage backstage a few minutes ago. One punch woman! All right, so. As he climbed this mountain, he started to get worried, because that's the beautiful thing about acid. Acid will ruin your day. It'll give you a good trip or a bad trip, but it does not stop that voice in the back of your head that says, you're gonna die. It just turns it into different personalities. And sometimes voices, oh, that's it, you're gonna die. And as he climbed, he realized he was in a lot of trouble, because he climbed for 2 hours. And he kept climbing and climbing and trying to find a place where he could actually be safe. And at that 2-hour mark, he let go. He let go of the mountain. Because at some point you just give up on acid. Trust me. He woke up the next morning, a little bruised, covered in brambles, and looking around, and it took him a moment to get his bearings. That's when he realized that the night before, he did in fact climb a mountain for about 2 hours to the left. I might not know my right from my left. He had gone up about a few feet, found the nose, didn't want to get covered in snot, and started crawling this way. Gave up and fell to his death of 5 feet. And I'm assuming, knowing him, he went, this is a good place for a nap. He walked back to his car saying, I will never tell anyone this story as long as hey, Alkali, I got a story to tell you. Escalation. Everything has the tendency to get a little bit weirder, get a little bit more, because you get used to it as you go on. My mate, Sandra the Blue, we've been living together now for, 6 centuries. I don't even understand how it works. And we're gay, so we've been together for maybe 7 or 8 years, so in gay terms, it's like 8 lifetimes with the same person. Because we're promiscuous. I'm talking about all of you. Don't cheer for that. When Xander first moved in, we respected each other so much. We're like, oh, we're living with another person. We have to make sure everything is perfect. The bed should be made every morning. We should all help with the dishes. I shouldn't annoy the shit out of Alkali every waking moment of my fucking life. That changed! But it wasn't him. It's his cat. He has a cat. I'm an animal person. I love all animals. I do love cats. I just don't think they belong in my house shitting on things. We feed the cat. We give the cat food. Every day I wake up and there is food in the bowl. And then every day, this little chameleon, and I call her that because her shit is black and the carpet is black and she will only shit on the black carpet. There is food and there is shit. There is food and there is shit. And I realize, what is shit? Shit is food that has gone to its natural state. We're causing the circle of life. Food, shit, food, shit, food, shit. And I'm sick of it because she hides it. The floor is brown. The only black place is the carpet. Shit on the brown floor. And Xander, when you see this, stop stepping in it. Just saying. Just stop. She's a very interesting animal. She doesn't sound like a normal cat. She has a very particular sound, because what does a cat sound like? Hey, you want to hear what she sounds like? Nah. That's her face, too. Nah. I've been shit on your floor in a day. Feed me. I'll piss over here. This cat despises me. Oh, she does not like me. It's because I'm tall and not Xander. She only likes Xander unless he forgets to feed her before she goes to work, before he goes to work. Oh, that's a conversation when I get home. If he forgets to feed this animal will grace me with its presence. The door to my bedroom no longer works because of an incident involving very rough sex. It wasn't us. I would love to know who it was, though. Stop coming over to my house. I'm not staring at somebody in the audience right now who broke my bedroom door, not at all. You're so bald, your head is blushing. Yes, this cat figured out that my door does not latch. Now, who has pets? Who has pets? Raise your hand. I want to see. Oh, awesome. And it's wonderful having it at home. I used to have a dog, Mom. I used to have a little It was a little beagle, red-tick beagle. And if she missed me and the door was open, she'd put her little dog nose in the door and push it slightly. And she'd kind of like squeeze in through the door. End up shitting on my bed, but it's okay, she was so adorable. This cat enters the door like your mom when she knows what you're doing. Cat here. I have never met an animal who could slam the door into the wall. Why? Animals, for the most part, should be smarter than us at times. They only need the little open. She's like, no, I will enter gracefully. Bam. Fuck that wall. Then she walks up to the bed. Cats, light on their feet. Nope. Knock this shit over. Oh, is that his clothes? There we go. My clothes now. Then she jumps onto the bed. I am 6'8". Do you know what that means? I do not fit on my fucking bed. My feet hang off. She can see them. They're off the side. And yet every morning, damn it. Damn it. Yes. That cat either has a foot fetish or wants a concussion. She then walks up the side of the bed. It only matters which way I am facing. I can't sleep on my back. I can't sleep on my front. I always sleep on my side. So whatever way I am facing, that is where she goes because she needs to look me in the face and say, nah. This is how I wake up. Nah. Feed me so I can shit on your carpet. Love you. Until you feed me. And fuck you. Well, I was done one morning. I had it. I'm not going to put up with this little pussy. I rolled over. No, that's not a joke. I just forgot other words for cat. Feline, thank you. And that's the thing about this feline pussy. That time I just wanted to say pussy, man. I'm never coming back to this stage. Oh, Kage texted me. Uh-oh. You'll never be on the stage again. Joke's on you. I'm not leaving. So, definitely don't. Guys, I'm an improvised artist. Sure, that works. I improvise. That just means eventually it all goes to dick and dildo jokes. When Dez was performing and I was watching backstage on that screen, all I saw was this big loaf of bread. I'm like, how can I turn that into a dick joke? Oh man, there's a way to turn that into a dick joke. It's gonna be really wry. There's gotta be a way. We talk about crusty cock? No, I don't want to talk about crusty cock. Oh God. I don't know what you said, but I'm gonna assume it's a yeast infection. All right. So as I lay on my back, eyes closed, in a battles of will against the cat, yeah, I know. That's where this is going. Don't get ahead of me. As I'm laying there, she did something she never does. She put her paws right here. I know. Like, oh. Wait a minute. I'm soft and fluffy. I might be her pet now. And then she put her back paws here and crawled up here. Like, all right, two can play at this game. I'm gonna snore. I'm a daddy. best sore throat story I have ever told at work, and they all assumed it had something to do with me being gay. When I told them it had to do with pussy, they refused to believe me. I fed the cat that morning. No one believes me, but to this day, I still say the last thing that she did before I laid down to go back to bed was look at the food. Now, this part is 100% true. Looked down at her food, looked at me, and went into her own bed without touching me. That fucking cat. Escalation. Guys, everything I've been telling you, these are the experiences that I've gone through. I've been proud to live the life I lead, and that's mostly because of you wonderful people. You have done things to me that Freud would just go, no, your mom was ugly, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. But none so much as my close group of friends. Because you see, one of them had a birthday. And when one of us has a birthday, you do what that person wants, and this person's doing things like, I want to get high as shit! Like, okay, let's see what we can do. We live in Chicago, so we put our hand out the window and pot appeared. It's raining pot, it's raining pot. That's how Chicago works. Pot and bullets, that is what we have in Chicago. 90% chance of participation or death. Did I just say participation? Okay, sure, that's my set now. So, we started off the night by having a brownie. A good old chocolatey brownie. I don't know what they did to this brownie, because pot brownies are brownie. Half an hour later, happy. This pot brownie was brownie. Half an hour later, what happened then? Oh no! Oh, I understand time and it's wrong. We walked to our disc golf course. We got to the first hole and you could tell where the game was going by the second hole. So the first game, we're like, oh yes, we have played disc golf before. Disc, air, go, flying saucers, excellent. And the second hole, 3 people shot at the same time in different... The birthday boy had decided that the Frisbees were cause for alarm and was throwing articles of clothing at them. He is missing a shoe. If any of you go to Palatine, please find that shoe. We're a little concerned that we could not find it. Also, there's about 20 discs out there. Because we became afraid of them. Because at one point we're like, wait a minute, we throw the discs and then we go where they went? You're not the boss of me. There we go, yeah, that one's gone. Oh, fuck him. I wish I was joking. On the walk back to the apartment, I turned around and looked at my mate, doing this. What are you doing? I'm thirsty. So? It's humid. There is moisture in the air. Well, I was thirsty. If I remember correctly, it was a little black sedan that walked by with 8 gentlemen doing this. They had a good day. We got back to the place that we were staying at and decided what mixes well with pot, booze. We were wrong. So we started to drink. At some point, somebody ordered a pizza. No one fesses up to ordering the pizza. I don't know. Well, we call this story the Lost Dragon Show. You see, I'm part of a podcast called The Dragon Show. And thank you. I have friends in the audience. That's awesome. So we decided, hey, we can't make complete sentences. Let's record a podcast. I'm sure it'll be perfect. Xander plugged the USB port into the blender. Notice I did not say the USB cable, I said the port. We started trying to set this thing up. At one point, we tripped and tied up the birthday boy with the microphone and decided that that was his role. He would be the microphone for the rest of the night. Just like that. It worked. And one of us, he wasn't feeling too good. He wasn't. Oh, we were in a hotel room, so he went all the way in the back of the suite. And the noises that came out of that bathroom, they weren't human. Because when you vomit, I understand, like, it's happened to most of us. It happens to the best of us. Food goes from here to there. Everywhere. We are convinced that he laid down on his back like, this is perfect, man. Oh, gravity, man. But the noise that was coming out of that bathroom was not the forced vomiting noise that you would normally hear. It sounded like she was destroying a goat. Ah, you startled the witch. There was a loud banging at the door. We were convinced it was the CIA. One of my friends, not knowing the difference between the United States and Russia, was yelling, "Gazpacho's here, Gazpacho's here." Yes, we have a recording of this. No. No, you will never hear it because things were said. And finally, one of us got the wherewithal and goes, oh, that's the door. Somebody ordered a pizza, and we opened the door, and this young pizza boy is standing outside and said, hey, I have your... pizza. And Dragor walked up to the door and went, you want to join us for a podcast? I lost my shoe. I'm a microphone today. Beep, beep, beep. We have no idea why. That was just how he talked now. And this pizza guy is just looking into the room like, is everything okay? Like, yeah, we're just partying. Oh, I understand that. And here comes our nearly nude friend, covered in what can only be described as the pizza from yesterday. Fuck all you guys, just fuck all you guys. Fucking just covered. And that was also the person's clothing, so, yeah. We looked at this pizza guy, he's like, how much for you to just go away at the birthday? He's like, no, join us for the podcast! And he goes, I want to. And you can see the wheels turning. And I can tell you right now that I was high enough that I could read his thoughts. This is going to be the greatest night ever, or they're going to kill me. Kill me on the greatest night ever. He goes, no, I have to work. I have to go back. And as we take the pizza, he was like, man, I wish I could stay, but I just need the tip. The birthday goes, tip is stay in school, threw a $20 bill at him and kicked the door closed. And screamed, I did that without a shoe! Ladies and gentlemen, escalation! Guys, I just got to perform a full set on Anthrocon's main stage. My best friend Pandez opened for me, and one of the people I'd like to thank, one of the funniest people I've ever met, a close friend of mine. Guys, give it up for the real star here, the real comedian, the guy that you came to see. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you for the first time, I'm that drunk, Uncle Kage and the guy standing next to him in the shadows.
What do you think, guys? Should we have him back next year? Dude, you were swept like a person and off my stage. You like your present? The no?
What is it?
All right, you're not digging with me, are you? You're not digging with me, are you? Because that's okay. Because you see, what I'm going to be talking about today, okay, make this.
What's in the flask? Take it.
Don't you need that? Hi. I'm Uncle Kage for some reason.
We love you.
You might have noticed I'm sharing the stage with the eminent Fox Moore, who has very generously agreed to add a musical accompaniment to a bit of storytelling I'd like to do this evening. The thing is, he's Scottish, that's so cute. See? You ready, you great watermelon patch? Aye, laddie. Oh, you're laughing at, you great clockwork twin! That's his dad. Alright, as I said, I'm Uncle Kage for whatever reason. I'm the chairman of this organization, please kill me. Whatever went wrong with the Pursuit Parade today, that was my fault. I'm terribly sorry, we'll fix it next year. But, as the chairman of this organization, I often am called upon to take care of some things. There's a saying in furry fandom that you may have heard, and I probably should have told Alkali it was a PG-13 show, but to hell with that, I think we're done now. There's a saying in furry fandom that you don't fuck with Uncle Kage.
Yeah.
There's breadcrumbs in my wine. There's a corollary to that saying. You don't fuck with furry fandom when Uncle Kage is around. How would you like to hear about a guy who tried to do both? I've been looking forward to telling this.
I think that was a yes.
I think that's a yes.
Or aye.
Aye. Thank you, you bunch of celery, all you.
Actually, I should probably explain this joke before we go any
Yeah,
further.
go on.
Kagging is like using just random objects as insults. In Glasgow, the accent is so harsh, you can literally call a person an inanimate object and it sounds offensive. So if he calls you you pair of hedge clippers,
It just sounds offensive no matter what you say. And ever since then, he's been calling people everything from like spatulas to, what was the recent one you called me on Twitter?
Which one was that?
Yeah, you called me one that was really good recently. I can't
Was
remember
that the flaming inverted cyclops or the, I can't recall.
Was it like a pot pie or something? Like you called me a pot pie?
Could be.
It was something like that. But...
It's difficult for me to remember the past. Unless it was stuck in my mind for some reason. And you say, that's what I'd like to tell you about. Okay, this is Anthrocon, right? That's where you are. Our artist alley is run by a very, very capable, somewhat frazzled gentleman. You might have seen him downstairs, Shadow Wolf. He's the gentleman, looks like a really big, terrified baby. That's all I can describe him as. I just trod on the bread. Shadow sent me an email from his home in Pennsylvania to my home in North Carolina, and he said, I would like to buy a POS. I said, I drive one, I'll sell it to you, $400. He said, no, I would like to buy a point of sale system. I said, why? He said, because we need one for Artist Alley and Con Store. All right, I said, how much will it cost? He said, about $7,000. And I said, dude, really? And he said, that's why I'm sending you the email from my home in Pennsylvania to your home in North Carolina. But okay, I trust my staff. When they tell me they need something, pricey, what the hell, okay. He told me we needed it. Yeah, why do we need it? Because it will make these guys' lives easier. Okay, that's worth it. So he wrote back to me that he had found a lovely point-of-sale system from an outfit that was operating out of the great state of Utah. And it was going to be wonderful. All I had to do was call them to arrange payment. Okay, that's easy enough. So I rang them up, as he says, I rang them up, and I spoke to a gentleman. Now, for legal purposes, I'm only going to call the fellow by his last initial. His first name was Doug. We'll just say his last name was O. So he was Doug O. Foreshadowing. Doug O said, yes, it'll be $7,000 plus some change. And I said, I'll give you my credit card number. He said, oh, well, we'd rather not take a credit card because, you got to pay the 2 3/4%. Would you be able to send us a check? If you could send the check and overnight it to us, we can get the order going right away. Now, me being, at that time, extremely young and vulnerable, this last year, I said, sure. This was the 31st of March of 2016. I overnighted a check to good old Doug O in Utah. And I waited. I had said to him on the phone, how long will it take for this thing to arrive? He said, we'll have it by the end of the month. Lovely. The end of April came, then we got into May. And I wrote a note to Shadow Wolf and I said, have you gotten that point of sale system of yours, that POS? And he said, did you order it? Can you see where this story's going to be going?
Yes.
Damn, I wish I had a good lawyer back then. Anyway. Excuse me. So I had Shadow get in touch with Doug O. I said, find out from Mr. O where our point-of-sale system is. And Shadow had some trouble getting through to Mr. O. He finally was able to get, okay, we will have it by such and such date. And then such and such date came and went, and Shadow said, we don't have it. And I said, okay, at what point do you want me to get involved? And Shadow said, not just yet. Let me try one more time. And he wrote back to me a week later and said, Kage, it's time. And I said, oh boy. Because you see, preparations for Anthrocon are very stressful. It's very, very stressful. If I could be given an outlet for that stress, it's like a lightning rod, you know? There! I like it. Hey, but that's scary. So, I said to Shadow, okay, tell Doug O that I would like to know when we're going to get this. The CEO of Anthrocon would like to know when this crap is going to get here. I actually got an email from Doug O saying, yes, I know it was excuse A through J. We will have it to you by the 10th of June. And I said, okay, that's the drop dead date. Of course, our convention is at the end of the month. If we don't have it by the 10th of June, that's a problem. The 10th of June came. The end of the day, I called up Shadow, and I said, do you have any packages? He said, no. And I said, good. I sent an email to Doug O that was very, very short and sweet. It said, Dear Doug, call me, and my phone number. I immediately got an email back saying, sorry. I just, excuse, M through X. Okay, it's not a problem. It's ready to ship, and it'll be out, the door, and not a problem. So I said, okay, great. So I sent him an email 2 days later and said, has it shipped? And he wrote back, yes, it shipped. Great, everything's great. And I said, and here's the part where people think I'm making it up, because it sounds like something that is just too stupid. I sent him an email back saying, oh good, could you send me a tracking number? And he wrote back, yes, I can send you a tracking number. Okay. When are you going to send me the tracking number? He said, I'll send it to you by the end of the day. All right, okay. The end of the day came. I probably should have asked him which day. The following day, I sent an email to Doug O saying, Dear Doug, call me, and my number. And Doug wrote back, I can't call you, I'm not in my office. Imagine that in the entire state of Utah, there's a single telephone located in Doug O's office. I mean, I know it was backwards with, our Mormon stuff out there, but sorry. I didn't like that answer, so I said, okay, I want that tracking number, and I want you to send it to me now. I got back the strangest reply. I wasn't sure what to make of this. The email that I got back said, Dear Sam, I don't like your attitude. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. It said, I'm only going to talk to Shadow from now on. And I said, this is getting good. Oh boy. So I wrote back, very patiently, finger shaking, I wrote back, is that so? Hello, Shadow is CC'd on this. Cancel that order. We don't want it anymore. Order me another one. And Doug O said, look, I'm telling you, we already shipped it. You can't cancel it. I said, then give me the tracking number. And he said, I will tomorrow. I wrote to Shadow and said, look, get me another point of sale system. I don't care from who. If this one shows up, you are to refuse it. Incidentally, Doug, I want our money back. Not my money back. Not Anthrocon's money back. Your money back. I want that money back, and I am going to give you 10 days. He wrote back this long, rambling dissertation about my ancestry. Some of it was true, but we're not going to get into the details. You can talk to my mom about that. I didn't even read it. I was busy. We're getting ready for Anthrocon. So Shadow called and said, we have a brand new point of sale system. I don't know if I told you this. I don't know if I told you. The new point of sale system came with an operating system disk for the computers. He tried to link it up to Doug O's point of sale system, and this malware warning came up. And Shadow said this to me, and I said, this is really starting to get good. Anthrocon came and went, and I realized I had not heard from Doug O. So I sent him an email saying, Dear Doug, I have not heard from you. Where is my payment? He didn't write back in the next 60 seconds, so I decided to take the next step. I looked up online, this internet you kids are so happy about, buttons and the return key and all. How to file a lawsuit in the state of Utah. I don't know if this is the same everywhere. If you got a small claims lawsuit in the state of Utah, all it takes is fill out this 2-page form and send us $150. Okay. I do that going to the bar on Friday. This is gonna be great. So I filled out the form. The form is very simple. Who are you? Who is he? Why did he piss you off? Love the judge. I am Anthrocon. He is Duggo. I bought something. He did not give it to me. I want my money back. He will not give it to me. He is a dick. Help me. A week later, it comes back with a nice big stamp on it. Yes, approved. You have an official court date of October 5th. Okay, official court date. Now, for those of you who are not of this country, say you're Canadian, by the way, happy Canada Day. For those of you, give me Canada.
I only know it from South Park, I don't know the rest of it.
Right? You get a process server. Essentially, you call up a guy, his job is you take a bunch of papers, you go up to the guy and say, hi, boom, you have been served. That's how it works. So I called up a process server in Utah, and I said, hi, I have a case, I need papers served. And the process server said, okay, what is the dick's name? I said, well, the defendant said, that's short for defendant. The defendant's name is O. And the process server said, Doug O? I said, as a matter of fact, yes it is. Do you know him? And there was a pause, and the gentleman said, oh, well, we know him. Yeah. I said, okay. Do you need his address? No, we got it, no problem. So a few days later, I got back from the process server. Yes, he has been served. He has been summoned. You have a court date on the 5th of October. Yay! In Salt Lake City, Utah. So I had to make arrangements to fly to Utah. Now, I'm going to appear in court, and I'm going to be facing Doug O. If you're going to go to court, you don't wear this. Okay, this is not proper attire for court. You want to look nice, right? Shut up. This guy back here is like, take it off! The whole front row is saying, put it on! If you're gonna go to court, you want to look good. But if you're up Uncle Kage, you also want to add that little edge of intimidation to it.
Now, do you want to fuck with Uncle Kage? Bring him on.
The 4th of October, I flew out to Salt Lake City, Utah, and I got myself a rental car and found a nice little hotel to stay in. And the next morning, I went to the courtroom building. Now, there was something they hadn't really prepared me for. When you go to the courtroom building for the small claims court, it's a big, huge, open waiting area where everyone who's going to be appearing in court waits. No matter which side you're on, whether you're the plaintiff or the dick. So I went in all these chairs and I sat down. I thought, I don't know what Duggo looks like. I'm just gonna sit here and stare at my knees. I sat there for a few moments, I looked around, and about 40 other people were in there all staring at their knees. And at exactly 8:30, the door opened, and a nice, what do you call it? Bailiff guy comes in. You ever see Judge Judy? That nice bailiff guy they got there, with the big biceps, almost like Bix, but not as sexy, or as bulgy, or as like erection-inducing.
He is going to murder me until I am dead one of these days. Do you notice him nodding? Let us hear it, by the way, for Vic and Lauren, our interpreters, making us available. Anyway, the bicepy, bulgy bailiff came in and said, okay, everybody come in, and we all filed in. It was like a Judge Judy episode. It was great. It was nice big room with paneling and big windows, like church windows here. It's like, that's right, this is Mormon country, so there's gotta be church windows in here. So I went in and I sat down, and it's, must be it. Looked very good. And when I sat down, picked up the hymnal, and the bailiff came in and then was asking everybody, what is your case? Yours, and you, Anthrocon? I said, yes. Yes, he said, I wrote it down. And he went back out, and he came back in a few moments later with a court reporter and a judge. He said, all rise. All rise, we did that. And he said, everybody whose case is going to be adjudicated by, what do you call that thing when you get a guy in who says, I don't like you, fuck off. What's his name? Oh, yes, arbiter. You're the lawyer. What the hell good are you? That's the Boots the Badger in the front row. Anyway, anyone who's going to be talking to the arbiter, you're going to go over here into this room with me. And everyone else went with him. And I said, and the lawyer said, oh no, Anthrocon, that's going to be done in here. I said, okay. Everybody else left and left me all by myself. I'm looking around the room. It was all quiet, kind of spooky. 10 minutes or so went by. Kind of bored. I was looking up, the judge had this big swivel chair. I'm thinking, it'd be kind of fun to And after a little while, the door in the back opened. And then this little Mexican guy came in with a vacuum cleaner. He came by me. And then he went out and left. And the door opened again, and in came the bailiff, the court reporter, and the judge. The bailiff said, "All rise." And the judge said, "Anthrocon, right?" "Yes, that's, I am king, yes." He said, "Okay, step forward." And I stepped forward. This is the good part. They had a lectern there. They gave Uncle Kage a lectern. I'm a goddamn scientist. I'm at home behind one of these. Ask me the questions, Bridgekeeper. I'm not afraid. So the judge said, "Where's the defendant?" I said, I don't know, Your Honor. I don't know, honestly. He said, and he started looking through the flipping, flip, and he stopped. Flip, and he said, "Excuse me, Mr. Conway, did you fly all the way out here from North Carolina?" I said, "Yes, Your Honor, I did." He said, "How much did it cost you to come out here?" I said, "Oh, Your Honor, I happen to have an itemized list of all my travel expenses." And the judge went through, okay, airfare, okay. Rental car, gas, okay. Hotel. Did you have breakfast this morning? Yes. He said, "What did you spend on breakfast?" I said, 11, 12, 25. Okay, yes, that's right. We got it up to like $8,500. And he snapped default judgment for the plaintiff. And he was going to dismiss it. I said, I beg your pardon, Your Honor. Before you dismiss the case, I do have some information that may be germane to the case. Learned that from Judge Judy, too. He said, "What's that?" I said, "Well, it seems that this is not the first time that Mr. O has failed to appear in court. My understanding is he was sued by somebody else and blew that court date off, too." And I watched the judge's face do this. Said, "Do you happen to have the details of that case?" I said, "Well, actually, Your Honor, I happen to have all the details of that case." The judge looked very stern, very cross. And I decided to go out on a limb. I said, I honestly don't know, Your Honor, if you're in a position to advise me and such, but it's 9:30 in the morning. My plane doesn't leave from Salt Lake City until 6:30 tonight. Would you have any opinion, one way or the other, about me driving out to see Doug O himself and handing him all these papers personally?" And the judge glanced over at the plaintiff, at the bailiff, and the bailiff said, so the judge got a little sticky note, and he wrote some things on it. He said, "This is the phone number and address of the sheriff's department in that town. Go have a talk with them." So I drove into the sheriff's department, and I went to the front, and I was in, ding, ding. And your main deputy came? Yeah. I'd ring a couple
Doorbell.
times.
Hang on, I've got a better sound, please.
Right. What's your name? Conway. And okay, and the problem, and what is the name of the guy? And I said, well, the guy's name is O. Doug O? I said, well, yes, as a matter of fact. And the deputy said, oh, really? Oh. I said, I was kind of hoping that maybe if nobody here had anything else to do, that maybe you could like go with me when I went to visit Mr. O with my papers. And the deputy said, I'm not busy. I said, so let's go. So, I got in my car, the deputy got in his squad car, and we started driving through town. This is infuriating. When you're driving behind a police car in a 25-mile-an-hour zone, it's like... See, I'm a native Philadelphian. Doing the speed limit is akin to a cardinal sin. It's true. It's true. I know some people from Jersey. Ever driven on the Jersey Turnpike? Anything traveling less than 60 miles an hour is classified as a building. Yeah, you know it, Mr. Patterson. So the address that I knew for this guy that I had for his business was something like number 210 Main Street. We'll just call it 210 Main Street, okay? So we get to Main Street, and we parked our vehicles, and we went down these little storefronts, very quaint little, town out in the west. And, out west. New west.
Western?
No, out west. It's out west. That sounds good. A little quaint town out west. Yeah, we'll go with that. So we start walking down. Ching, 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 ching. I want to know what the sign for ching, ching. We went to 210. He just signed Sam as being a jackass again, didn't he? I know that one. I love you, babe. And I love you too, Sam. I really wish I could go back to your hotel room with you. He's gonna murder me. Where was I? Oh, yes, number 210 Main Street. It's a boarded up storefront. But there's a little sign on the front that said, delivery is to 210, please go out back. And the deputy said, well, maybe we should go out back. I said, you're the cop, let's do it. So we went out back. Ching, 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 ching. We went around back, and there were no numbers on the doors, just door. So I picked one that looked like it was probably 210, and I knocked on it. And this very, very charming young lady answered. I said, excuse me, miss, is this number 210? And she said, yes. I said, oh, I must have the wrong establishment. I was actually looking for Mr. O. And she said, Doug O? I said, yes, as a matter of fact. She said, is he still using this as his business address? He hasn't been here for 2 years. I looked at the deputy, and I looked at the lady. I said, well, I'm very sorry to bother you, ma'am. I'm afraid we wasted your time. You've been very kind. And she said, well, wait, I might have something that might help. And she ran in the back, and she came out with this big rolled-up blueprint, and she unrolled it for us. And we looked at it, and it was the blueprint of the office that Doug O had submitted to redecorate it when he had moved in those many years ago. And it had his name and an address. And the deputy looked and said, that's a residential address. I said, is it?
I said to the deputy, "Are you busy?" He said, "I still got nothing to do." I said, "Let's go." We drove out to this address. We got to the end of a cul-de-sac. I wish I could implant the mental image in your mind of the palatial estate that we saw. The house was from here on. It had like 6,000 rooms, 4,300 bedrooms, 29,000 bathrooms, big built-in swimming pool, terrace lawn, 4-car garage, and a giant one of these, fifth wheel travel trailers that was more expensive than my damn PhD sitting in the driveway. And the deputy scowled. And he said, "The guy's like a goddamn drug dealer." I said, "Oh, no, drug dealers work for their money." So we went up and we knocked on the door. I couldn't help noticing that the deputy kept doing this. We knocked on the door, and a young chap, a teenager, is sort of open, and he said, "Yes, can we help you?" And I said, "Yes, is this the Doug O residence?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Well, is Mr. O here?" And he said, "Well, no, he's not. May I ask what this is about?" I said, "Oh, well, it's just I imagine you're Mr. O's, you're his, and the kid said, "I'm his son." I said, "Yes, you're his son. I learned that from the media." "Oh, you're his son. Well, your father and I, we had an appointment for breakfast this morning, and he didn't show up. I just wanted to make sure everything was okay." He said, "Well, I think it is." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, when do you expect him home?" And the boy said, "I don't know." I said, "Oh. Incidentally, you are over 18, yes?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, great. You wouldn't mind giving this piece of paper to your father, would you? And I guess you also wouldn't mind signing this one that says I gave it to you?" That's a good fellow. Aren't you sweet? Thank you very much. So I looked, and the deputy was walking along. And we got to the street, and he suddenly perked up. He went, "Would you like to file a fraud complaint?" I said, "Well, I actually already spoke to the police in this town. I don't know if that constitutes a formal fraud complaint." He said, "Well, who did you speak to?" I said, "Officer Cop. I don't remember." And he said, "Well, let me call in a city officer. This is a sheriff's deputy. He's a county man. He handles the orders of the court. The criminal matters are handled by the police, the actual city police." So he called in a city police officer, and the city police officer came up. So now I got 2 cruisers in front of the house. And we walked up to the city police officer's window, and the deputy said, this is Mr. Conway. He's here to see Mr. O." And the police officer said, "Doug O?" And the deputy said, "Yes, as a matter of fact." So we told him the story. And it was funny because the police officer went tappity, tappity, tappity on his little computer they give him so he can play solitaire when he's, on break. And it comes up, "O, comma, Doug." And then bold letters, "Shady business practices." So they were saying, "Do you remember which officer you spoke to?" And I said, "No, I don't." Oh, wait. I got an email from that officer. Let me run back to my rental car. My cell phone's in there. I'll get the cell phone, and I'll see who the officer was I spoke to. So I did that, and I went and I sat in my car, and I'm like, "Okay, need coverage. Out, 500 miles from Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm sure I can get 4G out here somewhere."
But this is a state that has only one telephone, remember? And as I was looking at this, down the street in the distance came this monstrous giant Cadillac Escalade, stretching from curb to curb. And it pulled up and slowed down, seeing these two cruisers in the cul-de-sac. And the deputy went to the passenger side window, and he stood up, and I saw him at the passenger side window, talk to the person, and nod in my direction. I went, The Escalade slowly pulled past the police cars, went into the 4-car garage, and the door closed. And I hopped out of the car, and I said to the deputy, the deputy said, so I walked up to the end of the driveway and just stared at the house. I got all day. I'm enjoying this. After some time, a door opened and an older gentleman came out holding that same piece of paper. And I said, Doug, is that you? Because you see, I figured the thick Philadelphia accent would really serve me well right now. And he said, yes, that's me. I said, oh yeah, I'm Sam Conway with Anthrocon. You missed our appointment this morning. I wonder if maybe we could, have a little man-to-man talk here. And he started walking toward him and he said, what are these gentlemen doing here? And I turned around and both the police officers going, thank you, Fox. I said, oh yeah, these guys, they found out I was a visitor and they just was afraid I was going to get lost on the way here, but that's neither here nor there. I'll tell you what, you're a busy guy, let's just get right down to the bottom. He owes me money and I want it, okay? And he said, well, you tried to, cancel the order and we were going to send this, Doug, wait, I'll tell you what, I'm going to save the time, all right? I'm just gonna say this once. I got fucking doctor in front of my name. Don't dick with me, I'm smarter than you, okay? It's so much fun! I said, okay, I'm gonna make you a deal, okay? This is real easy. You see, you might notice the judge, he gave me all the money that you're gonna owe me for coming out here, including all my travel expenses. But I'm just really into all this beautiful, mountains and stuff you got out here. Here's the deal I'm gonna make you. I'm just gonna hold you to the principal amount that you owes to my organization. My organization. The rest of it, I'll let you go on, all right? You give me back what you owe to Anthrocon, and the rest we'll just call it square, okay? How's that? He said, well, that sounds fair. I said, yeah, it is. He said, well, give me your bank account information. I'll wire the money to you. I said, yeah, right. Okay, I got a better idea. Suppose you get me a check. One of those certified checks, right? And you just send that to me through the mail. Well, I recommend that you get a tracking number for it, so you can tell me when it's coming. And he said, well, certainly I'll do that. I said, yeah, when? He said, I can have it by the 22nd. Okay, yeah, great. 22nd of this month. October 22nd, 2016. Okay, all right. You know, mail times and everything. Okay, I'm feeling generous today. You get it to me by the 31st, and we'll just call it square. Okay, how's that? Get it to me by the end of this month, and that's gonna be the end of it. All right, how's that? You said, okay, great, deal. I said,
Put that thing away.
yeah, whatever. And he went back into the house, and I went back to the cruisers. The police officer was sitting behind the wheel like this. And the cop said, oh, let's hope so. I said, yeah, I think, all right. But he kind of did this wide turnaround, and as he did, I just did this. Well, I said my goodbyes to my new friends, the deputy and the police officer. And I waited. The end of the month came and went. Are you surprised? I sent an email. I said, yo, Doug, I was kind of expecting to have them, I even wrote in that accent. I was kind of hoping to have money by now, but we had us an agreement, you did not an agreement, I'm gonna have to ask you for all of it now, okay? He didn't write back. Now, the internet is a strange and wild and dangerous place, full of pitfalls and dangers. But if one knows what one is doing, one can find out little details like, oh, the business number Duggo is using currently. So I did. And I called that. And a young lady answered. Hello, this is Enterprises. I said, yes, I'd like to speak to Doug. And she said, may I ask who's calling? Okay, there's one of two ways I can do this. I said, okay, we're gonna play it straight. I said, yeah, tell him it's Sam Conway with Anthrocon. ANT''ROCON. I got put on hold. I must have been on hold for 2 full minutes. They're playing like the girl from Ipanema on the hold music here. He didn't pick up on it. You're better. So anyway, so finally I get Doug's voicemail. This is Doug O. Please leave a message. I said, yo, Doug, it's your buddy Sam with Anthrocon. I kind of wondered if you got my email. Just checking. Bye. It could not have been 60 seconds later that I got a furious, all caps email from Doug O saying, I told you you would get your money. Don't ever call me again. I wrote back, but Doug, I like talking to you. I don't want this to affect our friendship. But if that's how you feel, all you gotta do is give me the money and I swear I'll never talk to you again. And he wrote back, strangely, I'm gonna tell you one more time. I will get you the money. The more you try to contact me, the more it will delay getting you the money. Never call me again. This is a cease and desist, blah, blah, blah. So I wrote back, oh, Doug, I worry that this is affecting our relationship. I got an idea. I'll tell you what. I'm going to be coming back to Utah in about 3 weeks. Let's be buds about this. I'm going to be visiting some friends of mine. Why don't we come over to your place? We're going to come over, kick back, open a few beers, invite that young son of yours. He looks like a fine young man. Don't give me, I was pissed off. Don't give me that shit, okay? Where were you when I needed you? He didn't answer that. So I thought, it's time to call a lawyer. Now, I called up a legal service in Utah. I was, okay, you go to the internet, your legal services in Utah. No, religious law, religious law, religious law, religious law. Oh, yes, here it is. And I found one that was, this and that. And I called up and I said, I have a case, I've got a default judgment. He hasn't paid me the money, I wouldn't pay him the money, can you help me? And the lawyer man said, oh, absolutely, yes, we handle those kinds of cases all the time. We have to have a retainer. Basically, you give me a bunch of money, and then I have the money, now I belong to you, and I'm your bitch, and I'm going to do everything you want. Down the front. So I sent him the bitch money, and I said, okay, let's get down to brass tacks. What is the name of the person who owes you the money? I said, well, the name is O. So, he got off the phone, and after a little while later, he came up and said, okay, there's a couple things we can do. First, we could put a lien on his house. That way he can't sell his house until he pays you. I said, yeah, that could be 35, 40 years in the future. I kind of want the money now. He said, well, okay. We could have an order sent to him to appear for a supplementary hearing where he'll have to explain to the judge why he hasn't paid you. I said, yeah, but son of a bitch didn't show up for the first one. What makes me think he's going to show up for the second one? The lawyer said, well, we can get a writ of execution where we start seizing and selling his personal property to pay off the debt. I said, that's the one. He said, first we have to go through a discovery phase. We have to find out what his personal property is. I said, there's a fucking big travel trailer in his front driveway. And they said, but does he own it? I don't know. The lawyer said, okay, I will contact the Department of Motor Vehicles and we will find out if he owns that travel trailer. If it's in his name, we can then proceed. Okay. About 4 days later, the lawyer called me up and said, okay, I have a good news, bad news sort of thing. That travel trailer is not in his name. It's in his wife's name. It doesn't legally belong to him. I said, okay, that must be the bad news. What's the other stuff? He said, well, here's what Doug O does own. He owns a Kawasaki motorcycle, a Ford Ranger, a Cadillac Escalade, a Porsche 911, and a Lamborghini. Yeah, ma'am, I'm here for the Lamborghini, okay? And she said, oh, we sold it. Did you now? All right, how about the Porsche? She said, we sold that too. The constable said, okay, you can tell me you sold that Cadillac Escalade, the one I saw you driving in yesterday morning? And she said, no, that's in the repair shop. And the constable said, give me the address of the repair shop. So she did, and he went driving. About 5 minutes later, his cell phone rang, and it was Doug O. See, I can only speculate that Doug got a phone call from his wife saying, I just lied to a state official, is that bad? Because Doug said, my wife misspoke. When she said we sold the Lamborghini, she meant to say we had not sold the Lamborghini. Constable said, where is it? And Doug O said, it's in my garage. The constable said, I'll meet you there, get the keys. But when the constable arrived, Doug O had $1,000 cash in his hand and gave it to the constable. And that's when the lawyer stopped to take a breath. I said, yeah. And the lawyer said, well, he has made an attempt to pay. So we're going to give him until next Thursday to pay in full. I'm like, no. Yeah, I know, you know lawyers are shitheads. So present company excluded, possibly. So I waited until Thursday, and I got a call from the lawyer. And the lawyer said, okay, Mr. Conway, I don't go by doctor, that's for grannies and shit. He said, Mr. Conway, Doug O showed up at our office with another $5,000 and said he could have the rest by next Friday. Is that okay with you? And I said, no. No, are you kidding? No! I give this guy every damn break in the book. I'm not giving him any more. I want that constable out there, and I want him to collect everything he can. I want him to take the Lamborghini, the Porsche, take that kid for all. I want him in pieces. Sorry. Monday arrived. And the lawyer called, and he said, you do understand, Mr. Conway, that to collect all those vehicles and everything is going to cost you a lot of money. And I said, I don't care. I don't care what the hell it costs. I want to see his balls frying on the sidewalk. That's not exactly what I said. Actually, yes, it is. The next day, the lawyer called back and said, I told Mr. O he can have till Friday. I said, and that lawyer man shut me down with this question. I have to ask Mr. Conway, am I representing Anthrocon or am I representing you? And I said, fuck! By Friday, all the money was paid. But you know, I had to pay $1,000 plus to that lawyer to collect that judgment. It's only $150 in a 2-page form. Maybe there'll be more of the story next year. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, my humble hour is up. I must quit this stage in about 15 minutes. Anthrocon tonight will be on the same stage. I hope you all take advantage of that 15 minutes to go, take a leak, please, in the bathroom where it belongs. I want to thank all of you for your kind attention. I definitely want to thank Alkali, Bismuth, and Pandez, and the amazing Fox some more. Astonishing interpreters who have made this accessible to folks who might otherwise not have used Pandez. Good, he's doing it right. What? I'll tell you what, bring up the house lights so these people can go out and take a pee. Since we have to quit this stage. Oh, hi Pandez, I didn't see you. I'm sorry. Hey, how are you, buddy? Happy Canada Day, hey? Guys, we're gonna go out in the concourse. You want to talk to us out there, but we're coming right back in here for Anthrocon tonight in about 15 minutes. Thank you all very much. You guys rock.